regardless of what we want to think, it's important to remember that we, at the end of the day, we are still all just human.
And do you know one point I was making in response to lots of people with the first video about slavery was that we are all human. Whether it's about my community being enslaved or your community being enslaved, we're all human at the end of the day. And the one point is slavery is just completely wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point sitting here trying to justify it. For example,
I don't think we even started wanting to. Do you know what I mean?
For example, when the Romans came over and they enslaved a lot of Welsh people after the whole Boudica event, after that occurred, and then they started to slave a lot of Welsh people, the first thing that happened, as soon as they left, is we went back to our prehistoric ways. We went back to our Viking ways, which is pathetic. In a way, we didn't learn anything. We were slaves from as soon as they got there. We were condemned to sit there and just agree with it, because the worst thing about slavery, and the worst thing that we forget, is that everyone is affected. That the only people who aren't affected by slavery are the people right at the top, who don't have to see it.
The one thing you made a couple of points there. The Roman civilization is Pax Romana, so AD 43, summer of AD 43, Claudius invades Britain, and Britain, very much up to the point of the Boudiccan rebellion, about AD 60, AD 61. The idea of the Roman world is Pax Romana, the Roman peace. However, they introduce a system, and it's known as the villa system. So what would happen is that there would be a villa owner, and people would be attached to that villa system. So they'd actually be, in effect, whoever they are, right, they would belong to that villa establishment.
Yeah.
And you're connected, you're linked to it. And whether you seem to be a free person or an independent person, you're still connected, you're still owned by that patch of land. So that is the sense of Roman slavery that you were talking about. And then you come into going back into the prehistoric ways. And you mentioned the word Vikings. Obviously, the Vikings are coming a lot later. But it's that vulnerability, it's that sense that we can be controlled, and we can. It's almost as if we've always seen ourselves as slaves within the landscape, instead of being the free people that technically we are.
In a way, we're all in control of our own futures and our own abilities. If suddenly society was to collapse, we'd be the freest we could have ever been. It's like how killers who end up going to asylums, they are incredibly free. Whether we like to think that it's good that they killed anyone, the reality is that they killed someone because they wanted to, and that is what makes them free. And
because they've killed somebody, they've taken someone's life away.
And now
that's a really extreme. We sit
here thinking that he's guilty of a horrible offence. Now he is this mythological
killer,
murderer.
and there's loads of them about.
There's thousands of them
every year. Yeah.
The thing is that they are free because they took the initiative. They said, "I'm going to kill someone," or.
What you're saying is they weren't stopped by society from killing anyone. They just went out and killed someone.
Yeah, free. Because they didn't subscribe to society's norms.
So that obviously that's extremely extreme.
That's horrifically extreme. Yeah.
Extreme. So but obviously, if there weren't all these controls within society telling you to do this and that, the pressure wouldn't be there.
No.
And therefore, people would be more freer. And I think as we come to the end of this this one recording, and hopefully another one coming up in the not so distant future, the sense of slavery is a shared human condition, And I think you've said that. What would you? That's it from me today. So what do you feel about that statement?
In a way, we all have to sit here and agree that we all live in a country, wherever that is, and we all have to just agree with what everyone else says for the sake of keeping everyone else happy, whether it makes us sad or happier, knowing that everyone is the same. We are at the end of the day, human.
So conformity, doing what everyone else is doing, is that your sense of slavery?
In a way, yeah. Not saying that I'd intentionally go out and commit a heinous crime for the sake to prove a point, but I think that the worst thing you could do is give someone society.
And on that note, thank you very much, Owen, and no doubt we'll come back with this topic of slavery. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Karl-James Langford and
Owen Langford. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Four, 3, 2, 1, action.
This is Owen Langford and I'm Karl-James Langford, and I've decided that we're going to have a look at slavery.
Indeed.
So I've had a very popular video on slavery which people have agreed with or completely disagreed, and I've been asked to do another video on slavery. Now obviously I don't want this to be about skin colour.
Indeed not. And neither of us are qualified nationalists or understanding of any sort of, oh fuck that, that was fucking awful.
Oh, and you just fucked up. What the hell?
You need to clarify that we're not...
Don't need to do that. Don't need to say anything about being professionals and stuff. It just distracts.